Alright, what is up YouTube? Today we got another anime live action news update video regarding the upcoming Netflix adaptation of Cowboy Bebop, which is coming out very soon. And I know this is old news, but for today's video, I'm actually going to be talking about the live action Cowboy Bebop comic adaptation with Titan Comics. So apparently there is an upcoming Cowboy Bebop comic series from Titan Comics, and they have just revealed their main covers and its variants for the first issue, which is slated for release this December, which is crazy because that's right after the release of the show in November. But yeah, I just kind of wanted to dive into the article a little bit. It's a quick little article, and just give a little bit of my thoughts. I mean, this is a pretty interesting topic, and I do want to crank out a lot of these Cowboy Bebop live action videos as soon as possible because the show is coming out very soon. Like I said, I gotta get these out ASAP. But yeah, without further ado, let's get right into it. So right here it says 6 different covers offer fans and collectors a wide range of different art styles coming from big name artists such as Captain Marvel's Stan Lee, Art Jim Lau, Doctor Who's Claudia Ianniciello, Immortal Iron Fist's Afu Chan, and Batwoman's Yishan Lee. A spin-off from the upcoming Netflix live-action series, Titan Comics' take on the franchise will see 4 issues focusing on a never-before-seen story revolving around Spike and the Cowboy Bebop universe. Lucifer veteran Dan Waters will write, while Lamar Mathurin will be responsible for the illustrations. A trade paperback iteration of all 4 installments will be released later after the full series has been launched. On top of the new comics, the adaptation will also be receiving a prequel novel named Cowboy Bebop, a Syndicate story, written by the Netflix series' staff writer, Sean Cummings, revolving around a young Spike and Vicious. Wow. For the fans of the original series, Titan Comics' Cowboy Bebop will launch on December 8th, with the Netflix series itself dropping on November 19th. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the article. I'm going to be showcasing a few of the artwork and comic covers on the screen. I think they look pretty nice, actually. And this is kind of an interesting topic or thing to talk about because the only time we've ever seen something like this, an anime getting a live action from Hollywood, and then that Hollywood live action adaptation of an anime getting something else like of a spin-off, either a comic or like another illustration. The only time we've really seen something like this is when the creator, the main artist, which was part of the creative duo behind Death Note, drew the actual main protagonist of the Netflix live action adaptation of Death Note in like a special little, kind of illustration thing to celebrate the movie, being made by Netflix. And, it's just kind of interesting because you think about all these fans and everyone that's just like, baby rage mad, like, oh my god, like I can't believe they're ruining the series with a live action, blah, 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 blah. But then sometimes you gotta think about the perspective of like the creators themselves, I mean, think about it. Like, we're in a time where Cowboy Bebop is relevant again because it's getting a Netflix adaptation. Put yourself in the mindset of like someone who created Cowboy Bebop. Like, that's crazy, that's something they made so long ago. They probably never thought that this would ever happen. And honestly, like, if I were them, I would just be happy that my series is becoming relevant again, and it's gonna have a new iteration which will go down in history to make it more relevant for the later years to come, whether it's good or bad, and it's just kind of nice. That's why in my what makes a good live action adaptation video, I talked a little bit about just the fact that, when you get a live action show or movie, it's kind of, like a celebration. And I feel like, a lot of people kind of look at it too serious or try to make it seem like it has to be this super ultra mega faithful adaptation, when really, it can be seen as more of just a celebration. The fact that the series is, getting something made of it. I mean, we're getting a new content, a new iteration, a new Cowboy Bebop, and it's just crazy to think about it. Like, we're in a time that, we can say that from Hollywood nonetheless. I mean, it's so crazy. I'll never forget the time I was actually able to talk about someone else with Death Note. And even though it had to be about that god-awful Netflix adaptation, I was still so happy that I could finally talk about my favorite anime of all time once again. So, you know, even though the Netflix movie wasn't the greatest, it at least brought back my favorite anime into having relevance again, and that was honestly a treat for me, you know, to live in a time where Death Note was relevant again, because when Death Note came out, I'm not gonna lie, I was still too young to really be watching anime or knowing too much of it at that point. So I feel like I missed out, but you know, now, not so much. But anyways, what do you guys think about this? I mean, this is still pretty big and pretty interesting because, you know, this new day and age, we're getting a lot of anime live action adaptations, and to see something like this where they go this far to have, you know, a comic series publisher actually make comics of the Netflix adaptation. I mean, it's insane, it's crazy, and it's just wow, you know, who, like, and not to mention it's also getting a prequel novel. Like, this is crazy. This is really interesting. I mean, there's so much new content coming for Cowboy Bebop. So even if the Netflix TV show isn't that great, I mean, we get comics, you know, and that's new, you know, that's just more content. Even then, even if the show tanks, I doubt the comics are gonna get as much flack just because it's, you know, it's a comic, it's art, and I think that art is something that might be the issue with translating into film, but it certainly wouldn't be an issue in comic form. Although, with that being said, I have heard that the Cowboy Bebop manga isn't great, but I guess that's another video. Anyways, that's all I have for this one, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please leave a like on the video. It helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you haven't already. That also helps me out a ton. And be sure to hit that bell to stay tuned for all the anime live action content that I'm going to be bringing you. And until then, I'll see you guys in the next video.